Hey guys, this is your bite-sized nugget. These are ideas that aren't quite a podcast, but still need to be said. Okay, I forget in what order, but I mentioned in a recent podcast that I had posted about early dinners on Instagram and got like a crazy amount of comments. And I had posted this also as a podcast, early dinners because kids are really hungry around 3 to 4. And it has come to my attention. Are you guys seriously like cooking dinner from scratch every night? Because that's what a lot of people were reporting and saying like, I'm not cooking a full dinner at 2:30 in the afternoon for my kids, or I can't, I'm at work. Or what came down to it though was like this idea of cooking full dinner. Are you doing that every night, guys? Because that's fucking crazy. Don't do that. So I want to do a quick little bite-sized nugget on don't overthink food, especially for the under 6 crowd. Now, if you enjoy cooking, if you have a cultural thing going on with cooking, if you love cooking recipes, if your child sits and eats and tries new food and you enjoy it and they enjoy it and it's part of your household, awesome. This is not for you. I never want to fix something that's broke. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. But what I run into more than that is people who are out of time, stressed out, rolling in on 2 wheels. Everybody's landing at the house somewhere around 5 o'clock. The kids are cranky, parents are cranky. It's a disaster. We do not have to overthink food, okay? When you're talking about especially toddlers, a couple of things. Number one, toddlers eat like snakes, okay? They eat like a goat and then they spend the month digesting it, okay? That's like they'll have eating days and non-eating days. They're not going to eat proportionately. So stop trying to feed them proportionately every day the same thing. Toddlers don't like a lot on their plate, okay? Big, overwhelming portions. And by that, I mean 3 scoops of mashed potatoes. No, not, and I'm talking like big scoops or spoonfuls. Maybe 1 spoonful. Start small portions with a lot of variety. Doesn't have to be complicated. When I say a lot of variety, I mean like a broccoli floret, a couple of strands of shredded carrot, maybe a little bit of yogurt. They like variety and like little mini tastes, okay? They also usually don't have taste buds for vegetables. We know this. It's a scientific fact. Some kids love them. If they love them, great. Again, feel free. But a lot of kids don't. So don't fight over vegetables, okay? This is one of my number one picky eating hacks. Parents will like go tooth and nail with their kid to get them to eat 1 string bean that string beans doing nothing, okay? They're going to change. Their taste buds are going to change, and you can keep presenting things, but don't get tied to that. Get tied to nutrition. So what does that mean? Meat has the best nutrition, okay? A lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals. A starch, potatoes, single ingredient starches are best, okay? Like potato, rice, peel the potatoes, the skins are questionable. You can have seasonal vegetables, but don't give them a big portion. They're never going to try it. If it's too overwhelming, if the plate is too overwhelming, they don't want any part of it, okay? Eggs are fantastic. Plain yogurt, not flavored, right? And you add your own fruit. Those kinds of things are amazing. But think of actual what they need. And generally speaking, stick with the macronutrients. If they have a carbohydrate, a fat, and a protein, you're good. And there's so much choice within those, okay? But don't overcomplicate it with big recipes because a lot of times their taste buds just can't handle it. And some of this is cultural. If your mom is Indian and you grew up in India, you're going to come out loving spices probably, right? And that's how you'll be fed as a baby. But however you ate when you were pregnant or culturally, like kids generally speaking spice their foods if they want it. I love spiced food. Pascal liked spicy food himself, but you don't have to worry so much about elaborate dishes. Number one thing I did, I've said this a lot, but I wanted to say it again. I would spend a day cooking and I would just cook up all the individual components that could then be put together for meals. Now, you may not like this, okay? Maybe your spouse doesn't like leftovers. This may not work for the grown-ups in the family, but what this works really well for is the snack plate. So I don't care what time you get home. If you can't feed your kid in that 3 to 4 range, the snack plate works amazing. And the snack plate actually can be put in a bento lunchbox. If your school, daycare, aftercare, whatever allows that, that's something you can do. So there's lots of little compartments with lots of little goodies in it. The biggest thing about over snacking is over snacking tends to be one macronutrient. So they fill up, it's almost always a starch, it's almost always prepackaged, and there's probably some sugar attached to it as well. So it's hyper palatable. But when that happens, that's one macronutrient and they just didn't get the protein and the fat. And so we got to be sure that we're adding that in. So even if your kid is going to have goldfish crackers, can they have a baby bell or a string cheese with it or a couple of chunks of whatever cheese they like? Can they have a hard boiled egg or a scoop of yogurt? Something like that so that it's all kind of evened out. That's all you have to look at. Carb, fat, protein. Once that's all set, that used to be like how we ate. That was every dinner. It was a pork chop with mashed potatoes with green beans. It was like standard, right? But don't overthink it. And so on the snack plate, this is the way, I call it a kid charcuterie board. It doesn't have to be nearly as elaborate as a charcuterie board, but you can put a couple of slices of chicken, okay? Like make chicken ahead of time, shredded chicken, chicken breast, chicken thighs, whatever, however you do chicken. Maybe if you get some steak, I always don't overcook steak, don't overcook meat if you want your kid to eat it. It is it's too chewy. They hate it. And so I have always served rare to raw. It's great. It's so much easier for them to chew. Salmon, I would undercook salmon, or smoked salmon. Some kids love smoked salmon. Some kids love sour, fermented foods, pickles, sauerkraut. Kimchi is usually a little too spicy unless you come from a home that kimchi is part of the culture. But you can offer these in very small quantities on a plate with some dipping sauces, a little sugar-free ketchup. I love buying ranch. If you belong to Thrive Market, they have ranch packets of ranch seasonings with like good stuff in it. And then you can add that to yogurt. And then you've got a protein right there with ranch dipping sauce. Like who doesn't love that? Little tiny ramekins with a couple of dipping sauces. Then you put a little slice of chicken, a mini meatball, a broccoli florette, a baby carrot, a little bit of yogurt, some berries, and a half a banana. You are good to go. Oh, and a pat of butter. Put a pat of butter on there because they all love butter. You're done. And that can be their snack. That can be in their lunchbox. That can be in a bento lunchbox on the way home from daycare. That can be while you're prepping dinner. They all are hungry when you're prepping dinner. And making a kid wait is usually a disaster, especially the younger kids, because the older kids are in sports, right? The older kids are going to need it anyway. You want heavy nutrition. And use the term snacks. Instead of snacks, think of mini meals. I'm all for feeding a kid when they're hungry. I don't ever want to tell a kid, no, you're not hungry, you're just bored. No, although arguably, when they're asking for snacks over and over again. But remember, if they have only had a starchy, sugary snack, their blood sugar is going to dip. It's biochemistry. That's how it's going to work. Their blood sugar is going to dip and they're going to be hungrier for more. So I think that's the biggest problem with these hyper palatable snacks is you burn it off fast. It's like boom, it's gone, and then they want more and they want more and they want more. We want to think of nourishing them and satiating them so they'll get off your back. So you don't have to be the snack bitch all day long, right? That just makes sense. So it's less about bad foods, good foods. I don't care about that. It's more about how can we keep these kids fuller longer and not have to worry about their nutrients. Because if they eat that snack plate and it's all good stuff and you're like, great, they had their vegetable, they had their fat, they had their protein, they had their carbohydrate, I'm all set. Now they can have a little snacky snack later. Okay. But now you don't have to feel bad and sit them at the table and like one more bite, one more bite, one more bite. I am really trying to eliminate that clusterfuck at nighttime that always happens when we try to wait too long for food for the kids, right? I don't want your dinner to be miserable. I don't want your end of the night to be miserable. I want you to connect with your kids. If you are working outside the home, this is even more important. I want you to use this time as connection. So feed them. But feed them good food, real food, single ingredient food, right? And again, not placing moral judgment on food, but we know what junky food does in the system and it's just not going to keep them. Okay. So again, just don't overthink it. Carb, fat, protein. That's it. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Super easy. Cook ahead. Hard-boiled eggs. Scrambled eggs are so easy to make. String cheese, Baby Bell, any sort of cubed cheese. You can buy it cubed, so you don't even have to cut it. You can have some sort of rice cake crackers, something like that, however, whatever ones you like. And then you can have chicken, you can have mini meatballs, mini hamburgers, get meat, make a meatloaf. You can slice that up. Steaks, slice sirloin, filet. Kids love filet. It's a little more tender, easy to eat. You can do, I cook up all the vegetables if you want. Like I do broccoli even to this day and age. I don't love vegetables all the time for me and my body, but I love broccoli. So I'll have it cooked so that Pascal can grab it. I can chop some into Maverick's food. I can have some. I'll cook up if you like Brussels sprouts or string beans, whatever your vegetable is, right? Carrots, if you buy them shredded, kids love shredded carrots. They're just much more manageable. Not for little guys because they're choking hazard, but if your child's got a mastery of chewing and not choking, and whatever it is, peas and carrots, or it can be frozen that you heat up. It doesn't have to be these like, cooking show worthy things. And you can just grab them from the fridge and give them. Feed your kid when they're hungry. But again, if we focus just on, okay, nutritionally, what do they need? And when you look at your kid's nutrition, try to look at it at least over a few days, if not over a week. If we're trying to shove in every single nutrient in every meal, we're not going to make it. And you're going to start to stress. You're going to, put pressure on your child. That's going to backfire. So don't do that. Look at it over a week and say, yeah, okay. Look at how your child is thriving. Can they focus? Is their behavior good? These are all good. These are all related to food. So use those as markers rather than every single plate. Generally speaking, though, I think we're serving too many big portions, not enough like variety so that it almost looks like sample sizes. So your kid doesn't have to commit. They're more likely to try something new if it's just a little bit, just a little taste, and there's a dipping sauce. So, all right, you guys, that's all. Don't overthink it. Okay, bye.